here. I forget on my other stream, the camera's kind of different. What's up, guys? Happy Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, June 24th, 2025. Hope you guys had a fun Monday. We've got every team in the league playing tonight. You know what time it is. Papa Top again. We've got all the stats updated. We've got the home run odds updated. The MLBGrind.com premium spreadsheet is ready for a little manual input, and that's what we're gonna do here throughout the duration of this stream, as we will go game by game, looking at every projected lineup and pitcher, trying to make ourselves an angle for tonight. And I would also like to grind out some prize picks tonight, man. These bigger slates I tend to like. There's a dog day of summer day, so hopefully we see some more offense. And yesterday was what we thought it was, right? Pitching was a pre-flop in a lot of the same as the day went on. What up, Andy? What up, Pojen? What up, Josh? Scooble Taco over 5.5 look good. Yeah. I mean, that's best to do it right now. Happy Ladder Quantrill K's Day. Bro, you can't even call that a ladder. That's a step ladder, bro. How many steps? What's the highest number on a Quantrill strikeout ladder you would want to get to? What even is this line? Quantrill. 3.5. 5, baby. Oh my gosh, let me refresh there. Wait, where is? Let me see something. Did I not? Dude, So there's a couple tacos right now between Caitlin Clark, but you can't combine that, right? You can't do that in school, right? Can you? No, you can't do that. So there's a couple things to work with there. You're going to 6. The new DK interface is so bad, dude. I don't know. I don't know if I'm on this board. I don't mind it. Like I think the stats that it shows are way more valuable than the old one. The other one just showed like rolling 10-day game log, right? Like the fact that OPS alone is probably the most valuable thing that they've shown in a long time. I don't understand. I don't get the hate. But I saw a couple tweets end up on my timeline, and I don't get it. It looks fine to me. I like it better than the old one. Like, it gives you all the good information. News call, I just don't get it. Couldn't see anything on my CPU last night. It must have updated. Oh, well, I mean, this is what I saw yesterday on the stream, and I see people crying about it on Twitter. But I mean, yeah, if you can't see nothing, then yeah, I'm with. No, you would want something, but I feel like it's an upgrade from what it was as far as the information it provides. Like, these splits don't really matter, but I I like the OPS. I say if I had to go with one results-based stat to choose players off of, for me for DFS is OPS. I don't know. But yeah, if you can't see nothing, that's a problem. What I can't see is my PrizePicks deposit that I've definitely been charged for like 20 minutes ago. So I would like to build out a card tonight or on the stream. I guess we'll give it a minute. Last time this happened, they were like, yeah, we know it's... I was like, okay, well, what are we gonna do about that? And they were just like, it may be delayed. Well, how does that help me? The Rainmaker stuff? Yeah, well, so I played that Pick 6 a couple weeks ago, and it basically just looked like that. So I guess they were just trying to get it all together. Like I said, guys, the DFS is in its last leg, so all this software that they're developing probably needs to somehow streamline between their prop market, their sports betting market, and DFS in order for us to hang on to DFS for a while. All right, let's do some research here. We got a 3-game early slate. By early, I mean like an hour before the main slate, right? 6:35 p.m. Eastern is when the fun kicks off. Let me make sure we get Mr. Roth open. Let's do a quick peek at weather. A couple yellows, nothing alarming, and we'll get back down. All right. First game on the docket, the Texas Rangers taking on the Baltimore Orioles. Got Jacob Latz taking on Charlie Morton. Rangers 4.5 implied run total. Orioles 5.2. Jacob Latz, 30.1 innings of work so far, a 15.2% swinging strike rate, almost a 24% overall K rate. Respectable 3.61 expected ERA. Looks like he's a split guy. You get that from lefties. Performing way better against lefties in terms of xFIP, strikeout percentage, average allowed. Allows homers to both sides of the plate with an 8.4% barrel rate. And this Orioles lineup likely comes out pretty righty heavy. The projected does have 3 lefties: Jackson Holliday, Gunnar Henderson, and Colton Cowser. But not enough for me to really be that invested in playing Latz. I guess with Latz, I want to see what we might get into as far as innings pitched for a projection on that. And it looks like 5.2 in his last outing 5 days ago. So that's encouraging. I think I'm still going to put him at maybe a 14.5 out projection. We'll see what we get from Vegas. Outs recorded. They didn't give us one, so we'll go with that. Inversely, with the Rangers, we know what we're going to get there. And we know what we're going to get out of Charlie Morton. Perfectly average pitcher, has been much more reliable, steady Eddie for him in the second half of his season so far. Overall, a 4.2 expected ERA, and able to suppress lefties. I want to say suppress left, able to strike out lefties at a respectable 1-4 clip. Is walking lefties at a high clip. Also over $1.25 on the home run per 9. He also has over an 8% barrel rate on the season, but has got that swing and strike rate up to 11% again, looking like last year. So high walk rate and definitely some high power allowed. He has allowed over a 1.4 home run per 9 to righties since the beginning of last year, and this season almost a 300 average to righties. So it's hard to trust much on the Rangers this season, but they are getting a hitter-friendly 95 to 100 degree weather environment in a hitter-friendly ballpark. But this ballpark does favor lefties a little bit more than righties. So, I mean, we look at the usual suspects. Corey Seager, he really hasn't been as elite as yesteryear. I keep forgetting it's on the 3-game early. And then inversely, a couple of these lefties from the Orioles I wouldn't mind getting behind, like Jackson Holliday, Gunnar Henderson. But we're really just kind of betting on the environment to beat average pitching for this offense. So that's how I would shake that one out. Let's go ahead and get a projection started for these pitchers. For Jacob Latz, we'll give him a 24% K rate. For Morton, we'll do the same thing. Walk rate here. Both pitchers look like so far they have the ability to waste pitches. Over a 12% walk rate since the beginning of last year against righties. So we can get some patient bats. We don't have I guess we're looking at Jordan Westberg, even Gary, if he's in that lineup for the platoon, can get an 8+% walk rate. So let's go, how do we split that with forward? Let's go 10% on his walk rate. And then for Charlie Morton, he's walking lefties at a high clip. Looks like that could be half and half. So I'm gonna go 11% there. Outs for Latz, I'm gonna give him 14.5, and for Morton, I'm gonna go 15.5. No reason to offer up a quality start on either guy. We'll lock it down on that. We'll give this game a weather bump of 0.5 point. And kind of go from there. What up, Chester? You like Latz over 5Ks? So on the 14.5, it did spit me out 5.8Ks, so it is leaning the over, but it really, I guess, comes down to how deep you trust him to go, because this projected lineup is nuts. A 28.21% aggregate K rate against lefties since the beginning of last year, but it is still currently just a projected. But I don't think there's many variations that would bring it down too much. Let me make sure it's not yeah, I got nothing yet. Certainly a strikeout heavy lineup, so I don't hate the thought of that. I just wonder about his longevity in this game. What's up, Chester? All right, let's get to the Blue Jays and Guardians. We do have a confirmed Guardians lineup. Blue Jays implied run total 4.8. I guess to rank this out, it's tough. I'm gonna go. Remember, it's a 3-game slate, so this is not really big thoughts. I'm gonna go Orioles. I think 6K Latz on DK. If he does get a strikeout lineup like that, could still play even if we don't get 5 out of him. Then we'll go Rangers and Morton. I do think Morton's not off limits on a 3-gamer. Anyway, Blue Jays and the Guardians. Guardians implied run total 4.4. Blue Jays 4.8. We do have a confirmed Guardians lineup. Stephen Kwan, Lane Thomas, J-Ram, David Fry, Santana, Gabriel Arias, Angel Martinez, Jonathan Rodriguez, and Austin Hedges. This is your confirmed Guardians lineup. Kind of hot out there too. Did Route say something about Cleveland? A few showers popping up. Neither the coverage nor the intensity look all that impressive, but a delay is possible if we get a brief downpour in the wrong spot. Eric Lauer on the bump for the Blue Jays, 26% K rate so far in 35 innings of work. 18% called strike. That's higher than what we saw 2 years ago. And just a sub 10% swing and strike rate. So this is something that always I caution when I see a higher than average K rate with a sub 10% swing and strike rate. I do wonder how sustainable that is over the long run. And usually that does correlate with a high called strike rate. So if you believe he can sustain this 18% called strike, then maybe we don't get too worried here. But I am a little bit worried just because I don't feel like the sample size is too deep. 3.15 expected ERA, we'll take that. And then also looking at his xFIP to righties, over a 4, xFIP to lefties, almost a 4. I do kind of wonder if he's going to start being punished for some of the contact he's allowing. A 35% hard contact rate to righties, 56% fly ball rate, almost $1.25 on the home run per 9, about an 8% barrel rate. I feel like there's a little bit of luck maybe in his results against righties. So there's some room for regression if we worry about stabilization on a 26% K rate. With that said, he is facing the Guardians team, kind of half and half, high Ks, low Ks. Not too enamored with the idea on Lauer on a big slate. On the small slate, everyone's in play, but this small slate also involves Tariq Skubal at home in Comerica. So you kind of just start with him on DraftKings and go from there. So you really only have to decide one pitcher behind him. So I don't think you have to get too cute, but I do think Lauer's perfectly playable in this spot. This Guardians lineup does have quite a few positive WRC pluses in this split, so not a smash play by any stretch of the imagination. Inversely, Logan Allen, 17% K rate with a 4.68 expected ERA. Those two metrics are a little bit alarming against the Blue Jays team that really doesn't strike out too much. So you're not going to get a ton of upside from Allen. And I believe at this price, 6,500, even if you think Allen goes deeper than than Jacob Latz, I feel like Jacob Latz is going to offer more strikeout. I don't even say, is upside the word? Maybe more strikeout ability per out than Logan Allen. So what I'm getting at is 6,500 for 500 less. I can get Jacob Latz, and I would imagine they're going to come with a similar output. The only difference is you're kind of holding your breath on Latz to lock in 5 innings and be win eligible, but he's not favorited anyway, so I'm not going to sweat that too much. So let's shake this one out. Let's go with a pitcher projection for Lauer. I'm going to give him 25% K rate. That'll come down at least 1% off that 26, and he has been striking out righties at a higher clip anyway, which is actually kind of a reverse splits thing going on. I'm just going to hold steady at 25 and just feel like there's a little bit of regression coming. And then for Logan Allen, we'll give him a 17% K rate. That's been pretty consistent. Lauer walk rate, walk in, righties. Let's go with a 7.5. Logan Allen, walk rate 10, 11. So let's go 10.2 since they're. Let's just go 10.5. Outs. 15.5, 14.5. So Lauer has the same out projection as Latz that I'm putting in. So points wise, when we compare Logan Allen versus Latz, I end up with 13.17 for Logan Allen, or no, 9.6. So I actually get a higher DraftKings fantasy points projection for Latz than Allen. So I just really don't feel like I'm getting to Allen over Latz within 500 DraftKings salary dollars. So that's how I lean there. What would be the cost of gun Terry Rinpack? Forgive me if I'm wrong. Does Rinpack do baseball? I don't feel like I've ever heard him talk about baseball. Have I done a show with Rinpack? I feel like I've done a show with Rinpack. I know I've filled in for him before. That dude's a genius. I think the show that I'd be trying to petition that's reasonable, not reasonable, but that I know we all do baseball would be me, Terry, and Adam. Just shoot the breeze, but I feel like it could go long, you know. Jordan Poole to the Pelicans. Man, they are pretty active very fast. That league is just like, okay, championship done, bam. All right, let's go. Business is booming. Burns first pitch over 101 on Fanduel. Dude, that's a prop. What? Burns first pitch over 101 on Fanduel is plus 2,000 on Fanduel. Now, does it have to be caught? It can still go over 100 miles an hour and get hit. It's smoked out of the park. But in pinstripe weren't. Yeah, so we did all we need to do there. All right, one last game on this early slate, then we'll get it all going. What up, Chevy? What's the weather like in Detroit? By the way, Tariq Skubal, if you guys are late to the party, does have a prop on, or a taco on PrizePicks that's about to expire in 7 minutes. So if you didn't get action on that and you want action on that, discount from 8 strikeouts to 5.5. I feel like that 8's a little fluffy, but sure. Athletics have a 2.8 run total. Tigers 5. We got Luis Severino taking on Tariq Skubal. Severino 16% K rate, 4.17 expected ERA, up against a 32% K rate and a 2.49 expected ERA. The likely Cy Young Award winner from the American League, at least if it ended today. He's in a good spot. This Athletics team, especially on the road this season, we've seen them bleed red and allow some pitchers put up some big numbers, and we're seeing a sub-3 run total, and that's when you know things are serious. So without a doubt, we're putting Skubal at the top of our interest ranking. Even at 12.5, this is your highest owned player on this 3-game slate without a doubt. And it's got to be top of the interest ranking on this game. And then we'll keep it going. We'll go Tigers offense, and then Severino in this park. I think there's a crazier outcome than him having a playable day at 6,700. It looks like a lot of these SP2s, they really offset the 12.5K anyway, with these SP2s all essentially being 6 to 7K. So it's not like you're breaking the bank. So I don't think it's crazy for Severino to put together a playable day. By the way, on this other game, I think I would go Blue Jays, Guardians, sub, Lauer. I'm not that enthralled with Logan Allen. And here we go, Skubal and Tigers. Not that enthralled with the Athletics, although I'll say if you want some of the highest leverage that you'll ever get as far as stat goes, I gotta assume the Athletics against Tariq Skubal, a guy that's probably gonna be 80% owned on that slate minimum, right? And I'm just guessing. I haven't actually looked, but I'm just guessing from my experience. Go get yourself an Athletics stack. Yeah. Let's go put a projection in for these guys. Severino, we said we're going to go with a 16% K rate. Skubal, we're going to go with that 32. Walk rate here, 5. Let's go 7.5. Skubal, let's go 2.5. Out projections, 17.5, 20.5. I promise you, I don't think I've ever seen a 20.5 out projection before. So yes, 5.5 Ks. If you are wondering if 5.5 is a good line, yeah, I get 8.89 Ks on that projection. So I get almost 9 strikeouts anyway, and they're discounting from a 8. So yes, the 5.5 is a great pre-flop bet. If you're trepidatious on that, I would really like my money PrizePicks. What up? Hey, yo. All right, we're hitting a new level of degeneracy if we're betting on first pitch velocities, bro. I mean, at this point, I know in NBA they have like first pitch or first point scored. Will it be a 3? Will it be a dunk? You know, at this point, this first pitch is going to be a fastball, off speed. Where do we draw the line? Have we no shame? All right, let's circle up this early slate. Put a bow on it. So, yeah, Skubal pretty good. Skubal pretty good. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I acknowledged it. These lineups are confirmed, so Jacob Wilson, Brent Rooker, Mr. Kurtz, Austin Wins, Max Muncy, Lawrence Butler, Luis Rice, Tyler Soderstrom. Remember when everyone thought Tyler Soderstrom was going to be like MVP for a week? That was a fun week. So we'll green light that. Look how many strikeouts are in this lineup. Aggregate 28.5. Denzel Clark is doing a lot to boost it, but yeah. Keith Glaber, Kerry Carpenter, Riley Green, Spencer Seal, Perez, Zach McKinstry, Parker Meadows, Dylan Dingler, Trey Sweeney. No Javi Baez. I think I saw his name somewhere today. Alright. And now we can sort that. We can also get our afternoon pitcher projection. So we'll go DK early on that. Sort DK fantasy points. And I mean, Scooble is just a mile ahead of everyone. By the way, with that lineup update, it pushed Scooble over 9 strikeouts in the projection. That actually might be the most valuable taco I've ever seen. And I can't play it because, I don't know, I deposited an hour ago and PrizePicks hasn't shown it to me. Do I have to open a ticket? I would really like to put together a stream card. I'm gonna go talk to Zendesk real quick. Blah, 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 deposits, blah, 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 blah. And this is what I hate about it. I don't actually, I already give up. I already give up. I'll just keep refreshing. Hope it shows up. So it is on purpose bigger. I just thought they muffed the discount. What's up, Kate Johnson? Are you on the sleeper app? I'm not. I always hear about it, and I feel like I've tried to get it a few times, and I wonder if something keeps impeding me. Is it legal in Texas? Do you know? Maybe is that what it is? I feel like there was some reason that kept stopping me from getting it. What's up, Nate? Storm's headed towards Detroit. Not sure if they will hit, heading that direction. 2 hours southwest. They're about to hit me. That's a good call. Broken line of storm should push through around game time. Might need to late start it, but the game should play without much drama. So yeah, I mean, keep an eye on that for sure. Second Tacos WNBA 18.5 to 14.5 plus a free square for today, because they want to keep people engaged. Yeah, this is a tough couple of months to keep people around, especially baseball. With baseball being so volatile, I see that myself. Like when the season starts, our memberships subscriptions are like, everyone's all excited, and then after a month, especially of winter baseball, when it's less offense, people start getting exhausted and they give up. So we're not really we get like 1 or 2 new subs a week. It's not anything crazy, and it's just that's just the nature of the beast. Baseball betting is not for everyone. You have to really numb yourself to losing. PrizePicks just took the Scooble promo away. Yeah, they only leave them up for like an hour. They might put up another one, but I guess they've been doing multi-sport tacos today. So, all right, no surprise. Also, afternoon stack ratings: Detroit comes out 1, Baltimore 2, Blue Jays 3, Rangers, Cleveland are holding hands. But Detroit, Baltimore, and Baltimore, Toronto holding hands. So Detroit looks like the story of that slate pre-flop. And anybody from that slate high on the ball detector. Corey Seager's number 1 on the entire night. So look out for that. I feel like he's been kind of skittish lately. We'll also give him a little weather boost there. So we start putting some weather boost for some of these other games. We'll see how it shakes out. All right, let's update this Blue Jays lineup, and then we'll get to the main slate. I'm gonna be kind of tilted if PrizePicks don't give me my money. Not even give me my money, show me my money. I'm gonna lose it anyway. Let me get my stuff going. This lineup sucks. Holy crap, this lineup's bad. Some tells me the Blue Jays are not going to be number 2 after that update. No, man. Blue Jays go from 3rd on the stack rating to just above the Athletics. Ew. That makes Logan Allen look a little bit better, unfortunately. He's still got to get through Ernie Clement, Vladdy Jr. What are you going to do? Embrace the suck. Yeah. It's going to be good days. It's going to be bad days, but just got to be disciplined. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses. Don't chase your losses, and trust the process. Oh, is it 3 hours? I don't know why I was thinking it was 1. Well, roughly 3 hours is how long a PrizePicks deposit takes to show, apparently. Main slate, Braves and the Mets. Spencer Strider taking on former Yankee great Frankie Montas. 5 implied run total for the Braves, 4.2 for the Mets. We got Frankie Lindor in the leadoff spot, Brandon Nimmo, Juan Soto, Pete Alonso, Starling Marte batting 5th. Jeff McNeil, you're Jeff McNeely batting 6th. Brett Beatty, Ronnie Mauricio in the last spot. Green light that. Strider, 29.4% K rate on the season. He is facing a tough Mets lineup. Just a 21.3 aggregate K rate, and a lot of that in the 8 and 9 spot, 26 and 30% out of Beatty and Mauricio. So unstoppable force, immovable object, and this unstoppable force has been stopped this season once or twice. Last couple games for Strider. $27.9, 41, 13, 4. So you like to see the come around, and then we'll go pull up his metrical game log. And we know when Strider's at his best, he's elite and one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. And sometimes when you take some time off, it may take you a minute to get back into your untouchable form, because when Strider is at that level, those type of guys, those S-tier pitchers, are matchup proof. 17.5% swing and strike rate in his last outing against these Mets. 26.4% against the Rockies. That'll boost anything, but we'd probably expect this to be about 15% is a good number there. We'll go check out his Savant stuff because it matters. .95 average mile an hour on this four-seamer. That's down about a mile per hour from last year. Expected batting average is 286 on that. It's actually down from last year as well. So, lose some, you win some, huh? 144 expected batting average on that slider. Last year 104. So getting similar expected stats and results as last year. So all this is pretty encouraging, all right? A 58.6% whiff rate on the slider last year, almost 56% this season. So you gotta like what you're starting to see out of Strider, and that makes him certainly playable even despite a tougher implied matchup. And you see Vegas giving the Mets just 4.2 implied run total, so a little respect there on his name. I generally am not the biggest fan of a pitcher seeing a team in back-to-back starts, but I'm not going to overthink that part, right? 10K, huh? How do we rank this out? Frankie Montas, though. Let's see. Where are we at on a Montas pitch count? Anybody got some intel on that? .2 innings in the minors, 12 strikeouts, over a 2 whip. That's not good. That's not what you want. Little arm angle adjustment. I like that. Seems to be compensating just fine. What's up, Jimmy? Eric. 488 average to lefties for Montas in 8 innings. 6 homers? Brother. Dude, is this like no other option? Like, this is horrendous. Right-hander's been sidelined by a right lat strain since the start of spring training. But he's ready to make his debut for the Mets after inking a 1-year, $17 million time, blah, blah, blah. Montas wasn't particularly effective during a 6 rehab start assignment with a 12.05 ERA and a total of 10 strikeout to walk ratio across 18.2 innings. But he at least built up close to a full workload with 80 pitches over 5 frames. Montas got it. I don't know. I don't feel like Montas is that old. I just feel like he's always injured. Frankie Montas age. He's 32. Dude, I gotta be honest here. I'm surprised someone okayed this. They just must not have any other option, but I guess you're paying the man $17 million. Gotta get him out there. Dude, I mean, is this a glitch? 21 hits in 8 innings? 6 homers in 8 innings? And it's split against lefties, 5 walks? This is like Antonio Senzatella levels of bad, if that's, like, that might be worse if that's sustained. At least against righties, it's a little bit more manageable and respectable, but still, 1.31 whip, not what you want. 5 walks in 10 innings, still not great. 2 homers, also not great. So, Citi Field, not a park I go home run hunting in, but man, does Matt Olson have a incredible matchup. And the bomb detector is going to give Montas some league average numbers to work with because we just don't have sample for. I guess it'll give us last year's. So I gotta say, Matty Ice here, Matt Olson, based on those metrics, is something I gotta be looking at. 6 and Jesus, brother. 96 degrees out there in Citi Field, by the way. New York never gets that hot. Let's get that a half a point bump. Braves. Braves. Spencer Strider. And that's that. I don't think I get to a Met stack here, but I wouldn't fault you. I'm just not going to force it on a big slate, but if you get one-offs of Lindor, Soto, Alonso, sure. I had to make a notepad here because PrizePicks is hoeing me right now on my deposit. So let's make a list, a running list. Hitter, PrizePicks leans. Let's go Matt Olson over 6.5 fantasy points, yeah? I mean, those numbers from Montas are just insane. Mid 90s and humid. Yep. I think I found out which pitcher to use my Tuesday Dingers boost against. You think it's Montes? Well, like I said, I mean, Montes was given up to everyone, but those lefty splits are insane. I mean, and that's just Matt Olson territory. If he's batting second, I love that fantasy point prop. Drake Baldwin, 150 ISO from the left side of the plate. Sure. But for me, it's Olson. But everybody's in play 100%, especially if he was walking too. I think that's a low enough fantasy projection. That's a double and a run, you know? RBI double, something. I'm in. Gave up 1 homer in 4 of 6 rehab outings. I mean, that's just horrendous. Did you see it? It's the lefty splits, though. It's ridiculous. Yeah, let's build the 4-man homer card. All right. And 4-man homer ideas. I do think Olsen is in play for that, for sure. But if I'm chasing homers on PrizePicks, I'm kind of a hoe. I like all of the check marks to hit, like the park factors, but the matchup, obviously, and weather. I didn't think he has weather. I think the park factor's not great, but the weather and the matchup might compensate for it. Let's build out a projection here for the pitchers. 29.4% K rate for Strider. Montes, I mean, I'm gonna give Montes an 18% K rate, and that's a manual guesstimate. I mean, he had a 22%. Eight and 4, 9 and 10, 3 and 8. I'm gonna give him 18%. He's gonna have to earn that number. It's just no planet where I'm playing him anyway, but we gotta have a projection, right? Let's go 8% on starters walks. Montes will go 10%. Let's go 12%, dude. I'm really making Montes earn it. If you suck in AAA, it's just not reasonable to me to expect you to come out and shove against the Atlanta Braves right now. Strider 16.5, Montes 14.5. Do you want to let him wear it? Let's see. I mean, honestly, yeah. Go out there and restretch it, but what's that bullpen looking like? Yesterday they went to all the guys. Edwin Diaz threw 24 pitches yesterday. You're not seeing Edwin Diaz today. So this could be a very puntable game. Also, Richard Lovelady. Very important news here, guys. He does prefer to go by the name Dick from now on. So make sure you're referring to him as such. Or Dickie. Olsen 385 with the booster seems might wait for Harris. Wait, 385 is after the booster? Yeah, that probably already got hit up. Like I said, the bomb detector is probably not gonna accurately portray the matchup here. But Olsen gives me 373. 72 innings for the pitcher here. Is it Montes? Yeah, I guess he did pitch that much last year. Even if he gets to this, like if he pitches to his card last year, it's a great spot for Olsen. But if he's struggling like he has been, I mean, it's just a nutty spot. 2 base prop bets, I'd take that too for sure. I like the fantasy on PrizePicks because Montes has also had a walk rate problem to lefties, and Olsen walks at a 13% clip. And if he can get on base anyhow, that's 2 points there if he can score or whatever. So I want to chip away at that. as well. Could definitely see some trolling on the total base prop based on that. All right, we got that projected out. We gave that half a point for weather too. Yeah, exactly. If he gets back to what we saw last year, it's still a great spot for Olsen. All right, Yankees at the Reds. Boy, did the Yankees disappoint a lot of people yesterday. I, for one, was not stunned. It is what it is. Today, Carlos Rodon on the bump. Yankees 5.4 implied run total up against the Reds. The Reds a 4.3 implied run total. This is going to be a fun game to break down. TJ Friedl, Matt McClain, Ellie De La Cruz, Spencer Steer, Tyler Stevenson, Reese Hines, Jose Trevino, Christian Encarnacion Strand, and Santiago Espinal is your Reds lineup. Chase Burns on the bump for the Reds. So let's do a little bit of digging on Chase Burns. This guy throws gas. See if I can get you guys some palpable stats. Here's from Pitch Profiler. Zoom in a little bit, or not. Actually, let's just open image, new tab. He throws a four-seam fastball almost 47% of the time. Average velocity on that is 98. Nuts. Slider, almost about 89. A changeup, 90. Curveball, 83. So 4-pitch pitcher, and these pitches all play well off each other, especially when you're setting them all up with what might be consistently one of the fastest fastballs in baseball from a starter. It's 127 pro stuff plus based on them, and he's just hard to square up. So this guy, really, really good. It's going to remind me a lot of like Hunter Green for the Reds, like coming in with a lot of velo and a lot of hard to hit stuff. Sometimes with high velo guys, you got to worry about their accuracy and do they have walk problems. 35.2 innings against lefties this season, 8 walks, 29 innings against righties, 5 walks. We can live with that. But the strikeouts are just insane. 29 innings pitched, 53 strikeouts against righties, 35.2 innings pitched against lefties, 36 K. So he's actually not striking out lefties at a crazy clip, over 1 per inning, about 1 per inning. But man, is he smoking righties like incredibly well. Homers, 3 homers in 35 innings against lefties, 2 in 29 against righties. So average. But man, the strikeout stuff is going to be fun to watch evolve at the major league level. And he's facing a very, very struggling Yankees lineup that has not had a bunch of games where they have successfully put together runs. And Judgy got him one yesterday, and that was it. The rest of the game was ugly to watch. So exciting to see him in the majors. He is 8K on DraftKings. They must have added him after I got the spreadsheet. So, what do we do with that? I mean, it's a little bit of a gamble, to say the least. But it's a fun guy to sweat. Do we have an out projection for Chase Burns? 14.5. Little steam on the over. So you might get 5 innings out of him. And if he's truly, truly unhittable, he could put up a 20-plus fantasy point game. But also, we see this time after time. These highly touted arms, when they make that transition from AAA to the majors, it's a little rocky at first. And we saw that with Hunter Green, too. It's just a different environment at the show, and you're facing a different caliber of hitter. So don't immediately fall in love with Chase Burns. potential tonight, even though it's still there. And gas is gas, but there's certainly a range of outcome where he implodes, and that 5.4 run total for the Yankees is giving respect to that offense in that park. So I think it's fair to play both sides of it. And we explored the reasons for both. What the freak? I'm sorry. My cat's in the dog kennel. I've never seen that before. So let's rank it out then. Inversely, we know what we're getting with Carlos Rodon. 30% K rate, sub 1 whip, 2.95 expected ERA, facing a Reds team kind of half and half on strikeouts and not striking out, 1-4 aggregate K rate. He does have a home run problem. Both sides of the plate can get him over $1.25. And this is a park that is not going to be much more forgiving. Matter of fact, it's certainly going to be more tricky to keep the ball in the park. But the weather in Cincy, about 90 degrees. So far, one of the cooler environments. But yeah, Great American Ballpark, something we are going to see flyouts become homers. So I'm gonna go Rodon. Just betting on Steady Eddie. I'm gonna let the run total pull me to the Yankees. I'm gonna go Chase Burns and then Reds. But the Reds is almost always gonna be a sub stack in this situation for me. Pre-flop. What does Chase Burns get a strikeout prop? 5? That seems like a push line if nothing else. Let's create a strikeout projection, I guess. 30% overall for Rodon. By the way, why doesn't Chase Burns have a Fangraphs profile? This guy's name is Dick Burns. I just gotta know about Dick Burns for a second. Pitched from 83 to 85, 1883 to 1885. Oh, this guy sucked. He had a good year in 1884 though. 135 WRC plus, 345 WOBA, a 1.4% walk rate. What? Anyway, it's on the right. Oh, it's on the right. Okay. You're right. All right, what do we put for a K rate? 36.8. Let's put him at a 30 as well. And if we give him a 30, I mean, we're doing a lot here, but we're taxing his minor league K rate. Give him credit for that heat. Rodon walk rate, we'll go 8%. 5% walk rate. Let's give him a little bit more of a big league 8% and then for Rodon, I think that's gonna be 17.5 and then 14.5. Is that right? Yeah. 14.5 outs gives me 5.5 Ks on a 30%. So I guess that's fair. There's a good shot he gets to 15. Rodon's the first pitcher I'm gonna get. Wait, actually, I gotta give Scoogle 4. 2.5, 4. Might give Scoogle 5, dude. Holy start and half a win right there for Fanduel. And then for Rodon, I'll give him 3. And we're good. Sounds like he needs some penicillin. Dude, it's the 1800s, bro. Tobacco and whatever. All right, cool. Throw 102 and Judge. Oh man, what up, Quinn? Name like Dick Burns. Yep. Dude, Dick was like a common name back then too. So I don't know. Diamondbacks at the White Sox. We do have a confirmed Diamondbacks lineup. Diamondbacks are limping. We learned yesterday Corbin Carroll has a fracture in his hand, and then Eugenio Suarez got injured. So one of the most fun, high-powered offenses in baseball is getting a little injured. D-backs lineup: Geraldo Perdomo, Ketel Marte, Pavin Smith, Josh Naylor, Lourdes Gurriel, Jake McCarthy, Oldemaro Vargas, Alec Thomas, and Jose Herrera. A lot of lefties in this lineup. D-backs have a run total of 4.5. They're up against the White Sox and their run total of 4.2. Possibly some weather here. I had Mike Vassell, but looks like Jordan Leisure is the name that we should have. And what did Mr. Ross say about weather here? Scattered showers possible. We'll monitor for chance of delay. Cool. Ryan Nelson. What kind of length are we getting out of him? 5+ innings in his last 2 outings. Pitches up to 83 in the last couple games, so probably going to give him a 5-inning projection. He does have a just about a 20% K rate, 4.23 expected ERA. Keeping the ball mostly in the park, but might be a little lucky in that regard, right? Almost a 9% barrel rate, 40% hard contact rate to righties, 32% hard contact rate to lefties. I guess the ground ball rate being over 40% to both sides is maybe helping him out a little bit, but a 30% line drive rate to righties. Facing a weak White Sox lineup, we saw Eduardo Rodriguez go pretty deep on him yesterday, which did help out the bullpen a little bit. They went to Disco Stew, a 45-pitch save for Anthony DeSclafani, which means everybody else available today, including your closer, Shelby Miller, who hasn't pitched since Saturday, Jalen Beeks, Ryan Thompson. So you don't need too much out of Ryan Nelson. So you go 5 strong at 6,500 against a beatable White Sox team. Pitch around the weather. You can see that turning in a usable stat line in the SP2 spot. Usually these bigger slates, I really kind of lean on the potential of a double barrel 30, meaning for me, double barrel 30s, which, the bigger the slate, the more likely that is. So I don't know that I make Ryan Nelson a priority, but I could certainly understand the thought of 6,500 Ryan Nelson, 5 innings, slight favorite against a team like the White Sox out there in guaranteed rate. Leisure, what are we doing on Leisure? Is this a bullpen game straight up? Projected opener, yeah. So who's our long reliever then for Chicago? Vassell. Okay, so that's the name I had last night. So I'll go back to Vassell, and no matter what, we're just not pitching in this game. So that leaves us with the question: what do we want to do with the Diamondbacks? Like I said, losing a lot of oomph in Corbin Carroll. That guy was a high OBP, high power, high stolen base running value, one of the best in baseball. Eugenio Suarez, certainly one of those fall asleep punchers, chance at a bomb. And now you're leaning on a still pretty solid lane, but it's not as long as it was. Ketel Marte, Pavin Smith, Josh Naylor, all perfectly fine, especially Marte and Pavin Smith. But you give them a little bit of a park deduction out there in guaranteed rate versus what else is on the slate in better temperatures and better weather. You're probably just landing on a D-backs substack, right? So and I think that's what we do, D-backs substack. And I get the case for Ryan Nelson on DK, and I think that's about it. Really not much reason to be here for much else. So let's go put a projection in. 20% K rate on Nelson. Vassell, we're gonna go 18%. Nelson walk rate, we're gonna go 7.8. That feels like a good number. And then 12.7 walk rate for Vassell. Out projections. Nelson 15.5, and I'm gonna give Vassell probably a 13.5 out projection. You might be able to blanket the win if you're into that, but yeah, 4 times 3, 12. So I'll go 12.5 then. So really nothing to see in this game overall, outside of maybe a handcuff of like Marte, Pavin Smith, Naylor, pre-flop. Put some dirt on it. On DK, there's a PO and a projection. Yeah, it looks like Vossel. Not much to love. Matriculated on to the next one. Tampa Bay Rays. Out there in Kaufman. Taking on the Royals. Taj Bradley up against Chris Bubich. Rays have a run total of 4.1. And the Royals, 4.6. Bradley at 21.3% K rate on the season. 3.82 expected ERA. Home run prime been pretty high this year, especially the lefties, 1.75. Kind of a weird number, maybe impacted by Steinbrenner Field, possibly, because he has a 55% ground ball rate, a better than average 30% hard contact rate, and the barrel rate's at 6.5%. So I certainly do wonder if Bradley's been getting burned by that single A ballpark down there in Tampa. Let me see. Taj Bradley, one of my favorite things on these baseball savant cards is this expected home runs by park. So Bradley this season has allowed 12 homers, 13 if every game was in that Tampa park, 8 if every game was in Kaufman. So Kaufman might back him up today. With that said, the Royals are never a team we want to pick on for strikeouts, but they are a team that swings pretty aggressively, just a 7.25 aggregate walk rate, and only 2 players in this lineup have a WRC plus that's going to scare us. So maybe you get to them on Fanduel, you expect them to eat some innings, but this is just an unfortunate matchup that they don't give tournament winning results most of the time. Chris Bubich on the bump for the Royals. We like the upside out of him, 14.5% swing and strike rate this season, right in line with what he's done the last 2 seasons, except we've seen a overall decline in K percentage from 32% to almost 26%, but he has been a little bit reverse splitty, and we've seen that play a few times this season. 27% K rate to righties this season, only 22% to lefties. Now, the Rays, they are smarter than the average organization, but we don't really see organizations over-respect platoons, and we've seen some teams, even like the Orioles this season, go into Kaufman and kind of make that mistake. But we know the Rays have reverse splits pitchers too, so I'm curious to see how the Rays put out this lineup. Namely, I really don't know what they would do. Like Brandon Lau, is he hurt? So Lau's like one of their best hitters, right? And he's not in the projected lineup. So like if he was in the lineup, then I'd be like, all right, cool, they're paying attention. We did see Chandler Simpson come back, get called back up. We know the story with him, one of the fastest guys in baseball, and yeah. So let's take this one out. I'm gonna go Chris Bubich. That's basically it for me, guys. I hate to be lazy here, but I think Chris Bubich, everything else that falls into lineups here is just going to fall wherever. Temps high 80s out there in Kansas. I guess we'll double check the weather, as if it rains for Bubich, it would suck. He wrote, I deleted an entire paragraph of nerdy weather details here, and I'll leave it as simply, quote, a small chance of a big storm. Note that even if it happens, it would just be a delay. Cool. Keep an eye on that. I was hitting 161 against lefties. I guess for me it was more so the homer, but yeah, 315 average allowed. That seems pretty unlucky though, yeah. 365 xFIP, 56% ground ball rate. I mean, what's the BABIP bill on that? 420. Blaze it. What? Chris Bubich. Splits. 228. Wait, what did I just read? Oh, 315 average. Oh, I'm just blind. It's a 229 average. I'm looking at the righties from 2023. Yeah, so I think more so what I'd be paying attention for with the allow though is the K rate drop. But if they roll out all righties, that dips into our stronger, and especially I guess he was pretty linear last year. Dude, why did he lose 10% K rate to lefties here? What's going on there? Now I'm curious. Move it. Actually, let's go pitching against lefties. So I mean, just a general dip, 32% whiff on the slider. That he didn't throw at all last year. I guess that's not, I mean, that's a good whiff rate. He just changed his arsenal a little bit. Sweeper, 20% whiff rate last year, 25.5 this year. 43% whiff rate on the fastball. Okay, this is one of our anomalies, Jake. Like what? Sinker? Is he trying to close out with sinkers on 2-strike counts? Sinker seems to be the biggest difference, but that's not a... That's like his third use. I don't know. 10% is kind of a dramatic drop for the overall whiff rates to be what they are. But give me Boobits. Let's put out a projection here. Let's go 26. Walk rate. Which 8. Outs for Bradley. 17.5, 17.5. I'm gonna go. We'll do that. All right, cool. Let's move on. Mariners and the Twins. Mariners run total 4.4. Twins 4.4. Luis Castillo taking on Chris Paddock. Twins lineup is confirmed. Myron Buxton, Trevor Larnach, Brooks Lee, Carlos Correa, Matt Wallner, Ty France, Cody Clemens, Ryan Jeffers, and Harrison Bader. So earlier, right before I launched the stream, I updated our home run odds, and there was actually some value in Buxton as far as what the spreadsheet says versus what was offered. Evan Carter, by the way, up here is one of the top values, but let's see, control Buxton. So we have Buxton as fair odds 511. Oh, I guess that has changed. Never mind. I was ready to give a whole good point and everything, and now I just got nerfed. Luis Castillo, 20% K rate, a 4.5 expected ERA. Allowing power to both sides of the plate. We know he struggles a little bit more with lefties if you look back since the beginning of last year. Average allowed has been fine to both sides. The xFIP to righties we'll live with. The xFIP to lefties, a little bit alarming. Larnach, Brooks Lee, Wallner, Cody Clemens, the 3 lefties he's going to have to get through. Larnach, a little bit more established with sample size, 129 WRC plus against righties. And then Matt Wallner has been strong enough this season, but you got to get around his 33% K rate. So looking at that, 80 degrees out there in Minnesota. I think it's been in the 90s there, so this is a little cooler for them. Inversely, Chris Paddock, just a 16.7% K rate this season on 80 innings of sample. Also struggling more with lefties. 5+ xFIP to lefties, 135 home run per 9, 235 average allowed, but man, high fly ball rate and a almost 7.5% barrel rate. So you could certainly get into Cal Raleigh to take advantage of that. Man, that guy has been on one. We saw J-Rod get into one yesterday as well. And one thing we always look for with the Mariners, they've been one of our favorite offenses to target all year, but you especially like them when you can get around their pretty high spread out K percentage, about a 25% aggregate K rate, and the entire team strikes out over 1 in 5, most of them 1 in 4. And if you get a guy like Chris Paddock who's striking out 17% of hitters, especially the lefties, we can get them into a sub 15% K rate. Could be a long day for Chris Paddock against some of these Mariners bats. I think Jorge Polanco, revenge game, if you're into that. I think he used to play for the Twins. And then a couple of these guys like Luke Raley, right? 28% K rate. You know, he's got power, but he strikes out. So if we're starting to neutralize some of these stuff, we can get into some fun clicks here on the Mariners side. So I'm going to go Mariners offense 1. I mean, that's... I can see Twin Substack for sure. And, man, I feel like I should at least consider Luis Castillo. But I'm not, like, super enamored with him. I guess he's in the blender. I'll put it that way. He's in the blender, but I'm not really that crazy about it. 11.4% swinging strike rate overall. I'll deal with it. How are we doing on the season for Louis? Or not on the season, the recent game logs as far as plate discipline. 12, 15, 11, 16. So, I mean, he's looked a lot better in this stretch since the Yankee game than the first half of games, right? There was a lot of single-digit swing and strike rate. So, yeah, I'll put him in the list. I'll put him in the blender. And that's how we'll do it. We're going Mariners, Twins, Castillo. Now let's put a pitching projection here. 20.1 for Castillo. Chris Paddock will go 16.7. Walk rates here, 4.0. We'll meet in the middle. 8. Chris Paddock, walk rate 7. And out projections, 17.5, 15.5. So we'll give Castillo his shot. Paddock rank, god dang. Called strike percentage. Oh, call plus swinging strike. My bad. Yeah, that's not what you want. Buddy Lee. Wasn't that the Eddie Murphy movie name guy? The clump guy? No, that's Buddy Love. I'm stupid. Who's Buddy Lee? That's a wrestler? I don't know. I know that name. It's probably a common name anyway. Pirates and the Brewers, 3.1 run total. Up against a 4.5 run total. Andrew Heaney taking on Freddie Peralta. I mean, this one seems pretty easy to break down. Save us some time. Freddie Peralta won. Brewers 2, and then Andrew Heaney's not out of play for me, but I don't. We'll just go Peralta Brewers. But I guess I could understand if you got to Heaney. I don't really need to split the atom here, yeah. You get this lane of the Brewers: Hoskins, Isaac Collins, Daz Cameron, if that's your lane. Low average, high strikeouts, but high ISO. So much like the Mariners, to a little bit of lesser degree. If you can neutralize the K rate a little bit, and you do with a sub 19% K rate from Heaney to righties, and he's a fly ball pitcher. Especially mostly like Hoskins, I'm interested in. And Heaney has also had over a 9% walk rate to righties. That's a 3-year rolling high, and we see a little bit of patience out of Hoskins as well. So this could be a spot to keep an eye on Hoskins if you're trying to get him to go Yabo. Let's do a projection for these. Let's go 18% on Heaney. For Peralta, let's go 25%. Walk rate 9. Let's go 7. Peralta 8.5. And let's go 17 and a half, 15 and a half. And let's go. I'm going to give Peralta his 4. It's the Pirates. So Peralta is probably quickly one of the best pre-flop options on the slate as far as talent versus matchup. And you can neutralize any weather with the dome out there in Milwaukee. It looks like it's probably going to be closed anyway because of possible rain. Now, it still leans as a hitter's park, especially for power. But for the most part, we're not too concerned about this Pirates team. So we'll dip into Freddie Peralta as one of the safer plays that we've discussed so far on the main slate, at least. Lee Jeans commercials. One more day for Skeens Mizorowski. Where's our boy Logan? Should go to that. Boots on the ground. Cubs and the Cardinals. Jameson Taillon taking on Michael McGreevy. Case for the coolest name in baseball. Cubs with a 4.4 run total. Cardinals 4.3. Taillon sub 20% K rate. He has been Taillon for years. You know what you're going to get with him. A 10+% barrel rate. He's going to throw strikes, and he allows some homers. A 1.45 homer per 9 to lefties, over a 2.4 to righties this season. Has a 3-year rolling high in fly ball rates to righties, a 3-year rolling low in ground ball rate. All the other metrics as far as batted ball data kind of makes sense. He might be getting taxed a little bit because of Wrigley Field for sure, and Busch Stadium can certainly swallow some fly balls. So I get it. I think this game probably overall shakes out as something that it's a 12-game slate, right? You can't play every game, so I think this game just kind of exists. The Cubs are always the most intriguing option to me. McGreevy, small sample size this year and last year to over-respect the great results so far. So I guess we'll take a look at his minor league numbers. But he threw 101 pitches 2 outings ago against the Dodgers. Mets, Dodgers, and then the White Sox. One of these things is not like the other. Walked away with 5 strikeouts in each of those games. Only 1 homer. Ironically, the homer is not. Yo, what? The 1 homer was against the White Sox. So let's see what we are looking at with McGreevy in the minors. $12 games started this season, 61 innings, 64 Ks, 1.2 on the whip. What splits we got? 291 average to lefties, 142 on the whip, with 8 walks in 33 innings and 3 homers. So it looks like he's a guy that has some lefty woes. Striking out righties over 1 per inning, keeping them in the park above average, with a 1.6 ground out to air out ratio. So what we're seeing in the minors is more fly balls to lefties, more ground balls to righties, higher average to lefties, higher homer to lefties, inverse to righties. What we've seen in the majors, exactly that. Higher homers, higher average. So how did the Cubs shake out? Well, first of all, this is good for Kyle Tucker and P. Crow Armstrong for sure, Ian Happ as well. Then the rest of this lineup might struggle a little bit. So it's, again, half and half. So nothing really leads the pack here. But Kyle Tucker, if he's in that 2 spot, I'm with it. Sometimes you get these Cubs at a decent enough fantasy projection. Like, if it's less than 7, like, if we can get to 6.5, maybe. Kyle Tucker is at 8.5. So, I mean, that's... You got to go up there and get it. Pete Crow Armstrong, 6.5. That I do like because... Man, there's so many ways for Pete Crow Armstrong to get there, including stolen bases. And then Ian Happ has been pretty strong as of late. He's at 7.5. I feel like Pete Crow Armstrong is borderline disrespected right there. So let me list that as a honorable mention. how has Pete done lately in terms of base running? He had two stolen bases in his last 10 games. So he can do it. And then yesterday, 2 for 2 with 2 doubles. Yeah, I really like that. I like that. So we'll go with that. Tyon, 19.4. No Guns got some Sassoon jeans in the closet with affliction shirts. Nah, dude, my style, just always growing up, even now, shorts, no brand T-shirt, dude. I'm not fancy. I dang sure I never really been into jeans. I'm still a city boy. That was kind of a country thing down here, but. I used to wear like Hawaiian shirts and shorts for like 10 years, bro. Laid back Cadillac Jack. Those affliction shirts. I actually used to like, I don't know. Hopefully none of you guys were, but I used to just think anyone wearing those affliction shirts were just like fake MMA fans that think they, you know what I mean? It was like kind of douchey. So I stayed away from that brand. 17, is that still a thing? 17 and a half, 15 and a half, so. Just by his pitch mix, I'm guessing McGreevy is a scouting report pitcher. Got something for everyone. Biggest thing in the short sample is the majors. The pull error rate for McGreevy is elite. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see how it shakes out. Keeping it moving. Going to Houston, Phillies, and Ranger Suarez taking on Framber Valdez. Phillies have a 3.5 implied run total. Astros 4.2. Ranger Suarez and his 2.59 expected ERA up against Framber Valdez and his 3.6 expected ERA. And these are two of the better southpaws in baseball, doing battle again in controllable climates there. I assume the roof's going to be shut because of the temperature and looks like potential rain in the area. And these are two ground ball pitchers, so this game could be really, really fast. So how do we judge that? Phillies still without Bryce Harper. I mean, all right. We know the Astros going to be righty heavy. We look at this Ranger Suarez righty split, 3.52 xFIP, 22% K rate. I mean, the ground ball rate is just elite. It seems like both pitchers could have similar stat lines today. I think we go with Framber, likely the longest leash, and then Ranger in the rankings. But you got to kind of like the pitchers before we like the hitters here. So let's just project it out. Eyes are not going to be popping for homers in this one. Ranger Suarez walk rate, 5%. Framber, 7.8. I'd imagine they're both at 17 and a half. 18 and a half for Framber, 17 and a half. All right. So I'm going to go 3 and a half. Bam. Easy to project that one. Dude, what is going on, PrizePicks? Thought that just we get suspended by the time they show it. I'm just gonna say, you know what, give my money back, bro. Do it. Yeah. That's what so I grabbed the 3-year rolling from Savant, and I guess Savant had it as Minute Maid. But yeah, I went over that a couple weeks ago. So let's see. Somewhere on Savant. Baseball Savant Park Factors. I just copied and pasted from them. And they had Houston. I guess now they have it as Daikin Park. Well then. They didn't have it when I exported it from the beginning of the season. But I like Minute Maid better as well. I should go back and retroactively change American Family Field to Miller Park. I'm old, dang it. Yeah. All right, Dodgers and the Rockies. And this is where the freaking slate gets weird. 7.7 run total for the Dodgers, 4.7 for the Rockies. The Rockies lineup is confirmed. Tyler Freeman, Hunter Goodman, Michael Talia, Tyro Estrada, Ryan McMahon, Brenton Doyle, Kyle Farmer, Ryan Ritter. Green light. I am pretty sure 7.2K has got to be one of the highest prices we've ever seen from DraftKings. I feel like Bryce Harper got pretty expensive years ago in Coors. But yeah, man, this Dodgers team is not unreasonable. And this is what you do like to see it. At least it doesn't make it an auto-click stack. And now you ask yourself, you have that self-internal debate about value, like if Ohtani homers at 7,200. That's essentially what you need. But does he have 20 plus fantasy points, which is not a yes or no answer here. I think is very valuable. Will Klein? No, I have Jack Dreyer now. I don't know what's going on. Daisy May. Psst. Whatever you're doing, stop it. Sorry. I don't know. You know when you can hear your dog doing something, but you can't see him? I could hear her chewing on something. And there's nothing that she should be chewing on. Dodgers. Yep. What's going on with the pitching here for LA? Obviously, we're not going to pitch Ramon Marquez. Right. Robleski. What the freak? All right, cool. So 3 different sources have given me 3 different names on pitching. So I imagine any which way we slice it, it's just going to be a potential bullpen game. Although Robleski can go deep. 100 pitches on the 6th. Let me check Twitter. Oh, Jake, what do you got on this? Is it Robleski? I forgot I super zoomed in on Twitter, and I feel like I'm on a jitterbug. Robleski. Jack Dreyer to open. Justin Robleski could provide bulk relief. All right. I don't think we're gonna do much as far as playing pitches in this game, but we do need to project it out. So let's just put something. Warren Marquez 15. .8. I'm gonna give him like 12.5 outs. Although, I mean, he threw 100 pitches, so I'm gonna go 13.5. But we're not gonna pitch him anyway, so I don't want it to do anything crazy. Let's go 14.5. Or I don't need it to do anything crazy. Cool. I guess out of curiosity, so what the PrizePicks has given us on these Dodgers. As far as fantasy points goes, the homer card, yeah, well, I'm kind of tight right now because I deposited on PrizePicks and they still haven't shown it. Last time this happened, it took like 3 hours for my money to get there, but I clearly been charged, so they're kind of screwing me out of making cards. 10.5 fantasy points for Freddie Freeman. Yeah, they're not giving us any type of discount. But a homer's a homer, right? 12.5 fantasy points for Ohtani, which he could get there with a couple hits, stolen bases for sure. But they are priced appropriately. So we'll give them that. 3 more games. Let's get on to this Red Sox Angels game. Garrett Crochet taking on Tyler. The Andersons got tickets to the game. They get tickets. 4.6 run total for the Red Sox. 3.6 for the Angels. Garrett Crochet taking on Anderson. 2 lefties. One of them better than the other. Let you be the judge. Crochet a 30.8% K rate on the season. 3 on the expected ERA, facing the Angels team with a 23.8% aggregate K rate against lefties. Since the beginning of last year, and a couple of these guys don't have enough at-bats for it to register in the spreadsheet here. So we're going to go Garrett Crochet at the top of the interest ranking here. I have been very curious with punting pitchers against the new Red Sox without Rafi Devers, but Tyler Anderson's probably not one of them. I'm going to get to some Red Sox, probably the Substack. Anderson allows a lot of power to both sides of the plate. Ref Schneider, Roman Anthony, Romy Gonzalez, Carlos Narvaez, all guys I could justify. And Trevor Story's bat has a little life here and there. So you can give me a Red Sox Substack and Garrett Crochet pretty aggressively. I'll go 30.8 there. Let's get an Anderson projection, 18.2. Crochet walk rate, 6. Anderson, 8. 18.5, 17.5. And we'll go 4 there. And yeah, we don't have to waste too much time on that. We know what it is. Nationals and the Padres. Trevor Williams taking on Ryan Bergert. Trevor Williams, 17.6% K rate. Very similar to maybe a Jameson Taillon in terms of just not throwing strikes, pitching to contact. But his contact is pretty split. 14% K rate to lefties, 22% to righties. The xFIP jumps over 5 to lefties. Average 360 plus, a 1.72 home run per 9 to lefties. Ground ball rate has diminished from last year to this year by 13%. Hard contact rate, not so much. The barrel rate, 7.5%. So maybe the 1.72 home run per 9, a little bit on the unlucky side. And Petco, not really a park we're chasing homers at. But if you are going to have a 5+ xFIP, and even if you go back to last year's 4 xFIP, Jackson Merrill's in play. Luis Arias hits for great average, and maybe we find them with low enough fantasy point props that we can get behind. 6.5, I'm not loving that. Merrill and a Machado Tatis sandwich, 7, maybe. Not a whole lot to love here, I guess, on either side. We do have a 3.8 run total for the Nats and a 4.9 for the Padres. Let's put in a pitcher projection here. 17.6% K rate for Williams. Let's give him a 6% walk rate. Up against a 20.4% K rate. And Burgett, 24 innings, 7% swing and strike rate with a 20% K rate. Let's see if that is up to snuff when it comes to his expected stuff. 37 Ks in 36 innings, 1.4 whip. Something's adding up right there. What's the problem? Is he a walk guy? He's a walk guy. 11 walks in 26 innings to lefties in the minors, 12 and 32 to righties. Not allowing a crazy average. And higher ground ball rate to righties. Almost like super split, like McGreevy, 1.23 ground out to air out ratio in the minors to righties, but a 0.34 to lefties. And in the majors, that's kind of sustained. But he's not allowing a lot of hard contact. And in the minors, 4 homers in 26 innings, so a little bit more there. Hasn't allowed a homer yet to lefties. So one of these numbers is going to give. That hard contact rate might come up, for the home run per 9 to come up. And that's notable because the Nationals, our favorite bats to click from them are lefties. So if you're going to be high walk, I'm gonna go. This feels like a Substack game, and I'm not too enamored by pitching. So we'll go Padres Substack. Gotta like Tatis, Merrill, Machado, and work from there. And then Nationals, Abrams, James Wood, and then work from there, right? What's the walk rate we want to put on Burkett? I think we'll go 10%. Outs. 15.5. And that's all I got to say about that. Indica or sativa slate today. I don't know what that means. Like, I know it's drug related or whatever, you kids. I don't know what each of them does. I think I read the Texas governor vetoed the potential ban on THC crap. I don't know. The average is going to come up at some point because his BAB was under 200. He's massively outperformed. Yeah, definitely feels like something's going to break. Especially when you have a 23% ground. I think it's the hard contact that's bailing him out, right? He's not giving up premium contact in that regard. But he still has a 8% barrel rate. So, yeah, it's got to even out in the wash. One game left in the docket. Pause for the cause. Let you guys know. MLBgrind.com. $100 gets you locked in for the rest of the season. And there's not much. There's not much for the next 2 months besides this and WNBA. So come join the dog days with us. Get in the Discord. Get access to the spreadsheet every day. We're doing it. We're grinding. Even when we're not streaming, I'm keeping this thing maintained and updated for you guys. So good way to show some love. Support the stream. Get something in return. Main event tonight, Marlins at the Giants. 3.5 run total for the Marlins. Giants sitting on a 4.7. Verlander taking on Quantrill. 17.6% K rate for Quantrill. 5.61 expected ERA. Everything about Quantrill is bad. And I hate when I watch him have good games. It literally angers me to no end. Like this Tampa game, 22 fantasy points. Hate it. I hate it. Verlander, he's hanging on by a thread. But he's still out there. Him, the Clayton Kershaws, these future Hall of Famers, out there every 5 days, giving us something to watch. But it's been ugly, and we have not seen him offer up a slate-winning price or slate-winning ROI at 7,500 on a 12-gamer all season long. Not much to get excited about here. It is plus park and a beatable offense. But man, he's gonna have to really dig in his bag if he's going to bring out a slate breaking performance, right? So I'm gonna go Giants offense because Quantrill sucks. I could get behind a Marlins Substack. The righties are what I would want. And Augustin Ramirez might be the guy to dip into his power problems, I guess. But nothing I'm gonna force. So I'm just gonna go Giants and leave it there, yeah. Let's put out a projection. 17.6% Verlander over here at 19 18% walk rate. Let's go 8%. Verlander 8.5. Kind of out 16.5, 14.5. All right, that zeroes out our pitcher projections, so we can get our main slate pitcher projections swept. Sorted by DraftKings, gives us Crochet, Rodon, Peralta. No surprise here in the top 4. And this is where your stability comes from. And then it gets ugly. And German Marquez is drawing a lower number than some of these guys with lower out projections, so might be a long day for him. Main slate stack ratings. Let's go get rid of our early games from this list. And don't go nowhere, guys. We're going to update some lineups and try to put together cards on draft. I might have to get ghetto with PrizePicks here and show you guys what I intend to play. But PrizePicks is still... All I did, I threw a 20 on them, too. It wasn't nothing crazy. And they're not showing it. I don't... I guess I could try to throw another 20 and see if that works. I'm trying to lose money, bro. This card already exists on another account. That seems like a problem. Guys, am I cheating? Do I have multiple PrizePicks accounts? What's happening? Anyway, Josh Naylor's got what up, Heath? Sativa. Noah Syndergaard is a minor league pitcher now. Hey, man. From from where we sit on the analytical side, it's like this is a bad idea. When you get to a certain age in life, you're like, hey, man, some people are just gamers. Like you see Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, all those guys just not ready to retire. What's life without what they've known all their life? So, hey, man, let them go out there and stank it up. Thor's an interesting one. Man, that whole Mets pitching squad is kind of interesting. They were so dominant, and now none of them might make the Hall of Fame, and it seemed like they were like the 98 Braves all for a couple years. Okay, let's get some lineups updated. I do intend to make up at least put out some picks for PrizePicks, but I like it better when you guys can see that I'm putting money on it, and PrizePicks just refuses to show me my money. So yeah, still don't have an Orioles or a Rangers lineup. Sweep through the main slate real quick. And we'll try and come up with, I guess, what's the task here? We want 4 homers and maybe a 5-picker flex, maybe a 6-pick. I don't know. Braves and Mets. We got D-backs we got. Twins we had. Maybe nothing's come out, actually. Yeah, we're pretty well caught up. Okay. Let's do some sweeping. Sort the bomb detector. Let me see, is there any high temps that I've not given a weather boost to? I think we covered everything. Any wins we're missing? No. No. Other Discord's been crying about, yeah. They've done this to me before. And like, we're aware, but today even more so when you have a window of, you know, with the tacos and whatever, like, you literally have a timer on it, but it's just like if it doesn't go through until after the first couple games start, then just give me my money back, you know? And then, you know, some sites will disqualify you if you don't play through what you deposited. I'm like, well, I tried to, but you took forever, so I don't know. That's whatever. All right, 4 homers and a couple of picks that we can mix and match. So first of all, going back to Baltimore, I do kind of like looking here for homers just because of the temperatures in Camden being what they are. 90s plus, right? Charlie Morton allows a lot of fly balls, high line drive rate, high hard contact rate to lefties. And Corey Seager came in at the top of the bomb detector. Up there with Judge. So Seager's a real interesting click in that regard. Hasn't hit for a lot of power. 7 homers on the season, 4 of them against righties. That's what I'm a little bit concerned about. But the matchup is pristine. %, barrel rate. And we know Uncle Charlie's going to throw a lot of curves, right? %, curveball to lefties, 360 expected slug, and then a fastball that's getting tore up, 472 expected slug. So Seager versus those 2 pitches from righties. Fastball 564 expected slug, so that's well enough. And then breaking 658 expected slug, so performing pretty well against those type of pitches. And then we get even more surgical, 753 expected slug on the 4-seamer, and then curveball 522. So all of our expected metrics for Seager are fine. So I think we keep Seager in the blender there for that. So, and if we like him for homers, we gotta like him for fantasy points as well. So let's do that. 6.5. I'll take it. Corey Seager, 6.5. So we really like a lot of 6.5 so far. P. Crow Armstrong, Corey Seager, Matt Olson. Baltimore drop. Cool. Baltimore. Oh, and the Cubs drop too. PCA's betting cleanup. I really like his fantasy point prop. Oh, we're starting to get a couple lineups come out now. No Brandon Lau in that Rays lineup. All right, we'll let those start digesting on labs. We'll keep going there. Homers. Logan Allen is giving up homers to lefties, but Blue Jays probably don't have a lefty. Lauer against righties. Lots of power, lots of fly ball. It's probably a Jose Ramirez spot. But you're never going to get a good deal on that. Ramirez. 7.5. Respectable. But I don't think I'm going to force that. Keep moving. I don't want nothing from that. We already talked about Matt Olson. That's about all we want there. Yankees and the Reds. Not much we want to bank on there. Mariners gets a contact guy in Target. I mean, how? This is where the can he keep it up in me comes in mind, right? It's another great spot for Cal Raleigh. But can he homer in 5 straight? But he's locked in. And Paddock, high xFIP, low K rate, decent power allowed to the lefties. So even if he can't homer, I'd certainly be interested in looking at him. But I feel like he's going to be premiumly priced on just about everything. 8 fantasy points. Looks fine for power, obviously. In the bomb detector with a healthy score, almost 4.25, top 10. I feel like he's a little chalky to give that one up, yeah. You like Josh Smith as well? Pick Yelich, Adames, and Buxton. Oh, Buxton over 5.5. That's really low. Buxton has screwed me a few times, but you're the reason it's at 6 now. Gee, thanks, bro. Dude, what happened to Polanco, dude? Polanco looking like an MVP to start the season. He's been so quiet. But how do you get Blaze Jordan out of Polanco? Also, Blaze Jordan, really cool name. Let's go Polanco. Let's put up Polanco against righties. And then let's get another Baseball Savant tab. And let's just cross-reference these two. Chris Paddock. Honestly, not crazy expected slugs for any of these pitches. Still elevated. 484 for the four-seamer. It's not like a bunch of 500 pluses. I guess we'll compare fastball to fastball here. Throwing the fastball half the time, backing up a changeup. Changeup 433 expected slug. Polanco against the fastball. 466 expected slug. Changeup 428. Very similar outputs and expected metrics for the two there. So 466 expected slug with a 278 actual slug. 293 expected batting average with a 177 actual batting average. He has a -8 run value against the fastball. Is this like the most unlucky? No, a 50% hard contact rate. What are we doing? How is this happening? That poor guy. 190 batting average on the changeup with a 258 expected. Jake, am I reading this wrong? What? This man is not getting near the results. And this is pretty deep into the season. So I like the combo of Polanco and Raleigh based on this matchup. % square up. So do we get a shot at decent Polanco numbers for fantasy. We don't even have Polanco in the Jorge Polanco's expected. I split his expected stats versus pitch types. So look at his versus fastball versus changeup results versus expected. Like it was there's a pretty big gap. It's almost like crazy. Jorge Polanco's not up there, huh? You have a promo for Rally? Yeah, I mean it feels like you know six games in a row, just you know. You're not getting a big deal for him anyway. I'm somewhat intrigued with Polanco. I was thinking Verdor or whatever lefty on Braves, but no bomb yet this year. Verdor. Oh, Verdugo? Nah, if I'm going lefty on the Braves, I want Olsen or maybe Drake Baldwin. Yeah, they don't list Jorge Polanco anything. So I wonder what they got that I don't. Glory is what I got. Rally looking good, guys, but man, 6 in a row. That's asking a lot. I also really like the thought of Rhys Hoskins today. It's Rhys getting in the bomb detector. 4-1. He's in the top 20. Nothing crazy. Yeah, that's what I don't know. It shouldn't matter, but in my mind it matters. You know what I mean? But if it doesn't matter to you, like what a coin flip has done in the last 5 flips doesn't really matter for the 6th one, right? But in my mind, like it can't be head 6 times in a row. Hoskins versus lefties. And if anything, this means he's locked in. But I'd be probably more inclined to go grab his fantasy points. And I also feel like that Wrigley series was so fake. Not fake like because he's good, but fake because 90 degrees and 20-mile-an-hour winds, you know? All right, Heaney, expected slug, pretty respectable on really everything. 500 for the slow curve. Meanwhile, Hoskins, 530 expected slug on the fastball, 600 on the sinker. Heaney's gonna give him a shot at that fastball. A little bit intrigued with Hoskins as a home run option. Big dumper. Intrigued. You like Belly, Olsen, Canzone, Larnack, Chorio, Pajes, and Soto. Soto's locking in lately too. So that's exciting. All right, actually, let's sweep some lineups here. I might go back to this Rangers offense. That Josh Smith call you put in chat earlier, I'm kind of warming up to it. Especially in the leadoff spot, if nothing else for fantasy, you know. Evan Carter's looking good in the bomb detector too. Higgy. Orioles throwing Holiday, Ramon Laureano, Henderson, Gary Sanchez batting cleanup. This lineup a little different for the Orioles. A few less strikeouts overall. Josh Smith. What do we got on Josh Smith's fantasy points? 6.5. Let's put maybe Josh Smith 6.5. Maybe Reese Hoskins. I also kind of like the idea of Chase Burns 5 strikeouts being a push line with upside, you know. And then Evan Carter looking good in the bomb detector. 200 plus ISO. I think he came in as one of the best values as far as market price versus spreadsheet price. We gave him a fair market of $496, and you can get him at $630, at least when the stream started. So that could be fun. Like 6.5 for the 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. I don't know. Does he steal bases? I guess that wouldn't be in here, huh? That would be. Let's go over here. If he doesn't steal bases, we'd want the hits and runs. He has 8 stolen bases in 66 games, so it's not something he can do. But if he does steal a base, he's on and able to score anyway, so I'm a sucker for fantasy points, so I'd probably lean that. But I think his plus runs RBIs is just fine too. And if he hits 2 singles and doesn't score, you still get that. So probably hits runs RBIs is probably the safer one. Ooh, probably the safer one. Let's do let's list that there. .6 run total for such a good spot is just so indicative of the season they're having. All right, let's refresh some lineups on the main slate. Braves lineup confirmed: Acuna, Olsen, Ozuna, Riley, Baldwin, Ozzie, Verdugo, Harris, Allen as projected. Yankees: Grisham, Ben Rice, Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger, Goldie hit a flyout yesterday that was a homer in 4 of 30 parks. I was like, man, how often do you see 4 of 30 in Great American, and Great American's not a part of that 4, if that sentence makes any sense. Nothing crazy about the Yankees lineup. White Sox lineup, leading off Mike Tauchman. I actually don't hate that. Tauchman's been maybe their best pure hitter. That's not saying a whole lot, but you get him in a leadoff spot. Nelson's lefty results seem a little lucky, but he also has a 46% ground ball rate. So green like that. Out of curiosity, what's Tauchman's fantasy points? Can we get it under 6? 5.5. It's so tempting, bro. So tempting. And we know that bullpen sucks. Put it on the maybe. Rays, Yandy Diaz, Curtis Mead, Caminero, Jonathan Aranda. There's a lefty. Mangum, Jose Caballero, Danny Jansen, Taylor Walls, Chandler Simpson. There's a lefty. Royals, India, Bobby Garcia, Vinny Salvi, Caglione, Drew Waters, John Rave, Colin Isbell. The lineups are just spraying out right now. This is beautiful. Crawford, J-Rod, Raleigh, Rosarena. Well, that's why we don't get a Polanco prop. He's not in the lineup. Dominic Canzoni, Ben Williamson, Cole Young. Brewers lineup. Sal Frelick, Jackson Churio, Christian Yelich, William Contreras, Bryce Turing, Reese Hoskins, Isaac Collins, Caleb Durbin, Joey Ortiz, Cubs lineup confirmed: Ian Happ, Tucker, Suzuki, PCA, Swanson, Bush, Horner, Matt Shaw, Reese McGuire. Cardinals lineup: Donovan, Mason Wynn, Burleson, Wilson Contreras, Nootbaar, Arenado, Gorman, Pottis, Scott as projected. Cool. Phillies lineup: Trey Turner, Schwaba, Bohm, Casti, Realmuto, Otto Kemp, Sosa, Buddy Kennedy, great name, Johan Rojas as projected. Astros, Pena. Was it Pena? I saw it at what's his name as an agent? He's trying to get that bag. Jake Myers batting cleanup. Cam Smith, Christian Walker, Yainer Diaz, Cooper Hummel, and Dubon. This is fun, dude. They're just spraying lineups. Pirates lineup. Lots of these lineups don't matter. Spencer Horwitz, Brian Hayes, Adam Frazier, Henry Davis, IKF, boom. Whit Merrifield announces retirement. Get ready for this work. All right, buddy. Shout out Whit Merrifield. All right, shaking that up. Yankees look good in the bottom detector, but it's because it's going off of no sample. So Burns gets the league average numbers. Matt Wallner's the next guy up. We talked about Castillo's lefty woes. 5.38 xFIP, 17% carry rate, a lot of walks, a lot of power. Wallner, you can get by his 33% carry rate. You get into an 882 OPS and a 150 WRC plus. He might be worth cross-pollinating pitch tracks. Yeah, what is up with Ohtani? Where's he at? Why is he not? down here. Wonder what that's about. Is Marquez got some weird... I mean, it's not that. Interesting. Anyway, let's do Wallner versus righties, pitch types, Castillo versus lefty. So for Castillo, lefties are going to see a lot of fastballs. He's allowed 3 homers with a 454 expected slug. Not crazy. 415 on the changeup. Meanwhile, Wallner hits the fastball, 460 slug. Sucks against the changeup, but not a ton of samples, you know. I'm not gonna get too stuck on Wallner then. Middle of the lineup for the home team. How about some Red Sox, man? Do we want to get behind a Red Sox bomb? The thing about Tyler Anderson is he's been sneaky bad against lefties. Could Roman Anthony give us a little lefty on lefty crime? In the minors, we've got 1 homer against lefties with 319 average and 10 bombs against righties. So maybe not. I'm kind of curious though, because you know the Angels bullpen really stinks. I really don't want actual real life money on Rob Refsnyder to homer, but for being honest, it's not a bad spot for him and a really good split for him. And Romy Gonzalez as well. Intriguing. There might be something here though for fantasy points, if nothing else. Let's see what we can get on these Red Sox. First fantasy points goes. Actually, that's all I care about here. Is fantasy points. What? They don't give me none of the hitters? Oh, it's just popular. Okay, I see. Dang, dude, what the heck? I'm getting screwed? We don't get any Boston bats fantasy points? Well, that's disappointing. We'll get hits plus runs plus RBIs. Rob Refsnyder's intriguing for that, to be honest. Would want to make sure that he's, leading off. Really, the top couple of Red Sox hitters are interesting for that. Romy Gonzalez is as well. I feel like last time I took this Gonzalez split, he got subbed out late, but that was before. That actually correlates well too, though. Romy and Refsnyder, if they are 1 and 3, so I'll put those guys in the blender. Who's hitting a cycle today? Might be Ohtani. We definitely have a healthy list here for the fantasy points. The homer, I'm a little stalled on here. Need 2 more that we feel good about. Also, if Chase Burns stays at 5 Ks, I don't hate that. is gas, bro. He is at 5. It's a push line, you know. It feels so bad to do this, y'all. I mean, Rally is in another premium spot. It just seems like super unlikely to homer 6 in a row. But that's not fair. Taillon gives up power to lefties. I don't want to lean in Busch Stadium too much, but it's somewhat neutral to lefties for power. So Brendan Donovan's not crazy. Donovan, if nothing else, is maybe intriguing for fantasy points. I don't really buy into this 182 average allowed too much. Verdugo is 850. 6.5 in the leadoff spot for Brendan Donovan. That's interesting. Do that. I'm trying to give the homie one more homer pick here. What a scumbag I'd be if I said Raleigh and Ohtani. Quantrill against a righty. I saw someone put Adames in the chat. I could see that. Quantrill's home runs to lefties makes no sense to me. Let's do a J-Ram Lauer cross-reference, I guess. Yes, because all of those. Also, Augustine Ramirez is intriguing. J-Ram's definitely someone I always lean fantasy points, but I understand the assignment. You guys see that that parlay trending on Twitter earlier? Homie turned $11 into $100K. Jeez, bunch of clickable names too. Nothing crazy. All right, Lauer's going to lean on his fastball a lot, curveball, cutter, changeup. So, really incredible expected metrics, all of that. Cutter, changeup gets away from him. Did a 199 expected slug on a fastball to righty. That's actually incredible. They don't really have a lot of matching strengths and weaknesses. So I'm not going to push the issue there. I'm struggling here. Just when all those fellas, we can keep picking on Montes, but definitely struggling for that fourth one. Luke Rayleigh's interesting to me. With Paddock's lefty woes and the fact that we can get away from that 30% K rate. Refresh my memory. I know I was already interested in Raleigh. Did Rayleigh hit one yesterday? I feel like I've seen his name lately. Fastball. So his fastball expected slug is great. Slider expected slug great. A lot of expected slugs through the roof. Sinker as well. Meanwhile, Paddock. Fastball, changeup, curveball. So basically, I want to see good numbers on the changeup and curveball. Changeup is And he doesn't throw the curveball. Right, actually, he hits the curveball pretty well, but he hasn't seen a bunch of them. Yeah, really did get one yesterday. That's what I thought. Man, I'm stumped. But I also have like higher wants. Like I want to feel good about a homer. I'm not just spraying and praying him, but what do we have on the list? We got Olsen, Seager, Raleigh. Said a big maybe to Rhys Hoskins. Looking at these Orioles. Urias has almost like 200 ISO against lefties. That's fun. All right, let's let the bomb detector lead. Let's look at some sample size homers. Seager, Matt Wallner. We looked at the pitch mix. It didn't match up too much. Ref Snyder is up there, man. We might get sneaky with Ref Snyder in that leadoff spot, plus a positive bullpen split, you know. Buxton's up there. I love that Buxton's top 10 and he was 5.5 fantasy points, now 6, and we know he can steal. Any Dodgers always in play. How does Teoscar have a higher rating than Shohei against a righty, bro? What is going on there? It's the bat at ball data, dude. The results are... It loves all the righties. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Oh, I tell you what, here's the problem. That's on me, guys. That should fix everything. I had the Dodgers against the lefty for some reason. That should switch a lot. I'm sorry. Yeah, Ohtani's number 1. That's on me. Ohtani for a homer. There you go. All right, I'm pretty happy with this. I would be happier if I could actually bet it on the air, but I can't. If you guys want to mix, so like let's say we make a a 4-pick, 5-pick, you pull out of this. Remember, there is a Caitlin Clark free square here, and you can multi-sport it. So if you're not gonna play any WNBA, you might as well just throw that on to what you got anyway. I really like these 3. Olsen, PCA, Seager. So what I would probably be looking like, Olsen moved to 7.5. Bro, he moved up a full point. Dude, PrizePicks is hoeing me, bro. I can't even bet 7.5 right now. 6.5 there. Seager. like Ref Snyder. Assuming Ref Snyder's leading off, I like that. And I still like Olsen at 7.5, but that's just, I mean, that's a lot of movement, dude. I get it, 6.5 to 7, but 7.5? I'd still be there on it, but dang. So I would like something like this. Maybe I swap out Olsen here. I wanted to throw a 20 piece on it, but they're not showing me my crap. Yeah, that's on me. I don't even know why I ever had lefty in there, but that swaps a lot. And that'll also adjust the main stack rating. Not that was too, look, bro. Almost a 1.5 point differential from 1 and 2 on the stack rating is insanity. Just pure insanity. And then for your homer card, that. All right, let me get out of here so I can go bark at PrizePicks for screwing me out of Scooble's taco and Olsen's fantasy points. What's tomorrow looking like? I know we haven't really been streaming on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Tomorrow, that's gonna be hard to swing. It's a maybe. It's a maybe. But we could still focus on the main slate. So strong maybe. More likely tomorrow than it have been the last couple weeks. So let me get out of here. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. I'll be in the Discord, MLBgrind.com. Go get yourself a week pass, but also just lock in for the rest of the year. Love you guys. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.